Hello everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie, and how lovely of you to be saying hello. Hi, trio of Witches Tarot. How are you doing? I've got your message. I know that you are turning around and saying that you can only stay for a little while. I think that's what you said. Don't worry, I will make sure that we put the recording of this whole program up at some point this week, and it usually takes about 24 hours for me to be able to do that. So, Trio of Witches, thank you very much, and you are very welcome. Please do subscribe to the channel and let us know how it can help you. And I'm going to take my earring out. Whatever. Hi Ella, checking out the video. How are you? So let me put this up here. Hi. Thank you very much indeed. And you are on here as well, Trio of Witches. You're very welcome. My name's Anne-Marie. This is Tarot with Anne-Marie, and we are always looking at one card a week and trying to find out as much as we possibly can about one single card, and we're going through from the Fool right up to the Death card, as we are tonight, and we'll continue. But on Tuesdays, what we do is I teach you the method that I use as a tarot reader. I've been here for too many years. And I show you how to combine the cards and actually do a reading as in based on using the card that we are studying on Thursday and showing you how to work with it on Tuesdays. And so very welcome. I'm going to say hi to everybody. You've been so lovely to say hi. Guz, hello, how are you? Hello. And we've got some new people tonight. That's really nice. Okay. Hello. Hi, Pansella. You're very welcome. And you must forgive me tonight. I don't feel as polished as I normally am. It's been a rush to get here. Sometimes reading for individuals does take a bit more time than you actually know. But I'm prepared with what we're going to be talking about. Hello, Anne. How are you? Lovely. Passionate Saji. Okay, right, my darling. And Pansella. How are you doing? We've got a link on here if ever you want to come on as a guest. Oh, you've just discovered us through a Facebook post. Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for that. You know, if that's what's happening, it's good to hear, because Facebook's doing some strange things, which I did want to actually write something in the Facebook to say that we may not be able to multi-stream going forwards, because Facebook are doing something with stopping people using third parties, such as software like I use, which is Ecamm, and you'll see why I use Ecamm. So we are going to jump straight into it. And I'm just going to remind everybody that Tony's put a link up there. If you do want to come in and actually have a chat about your journey in tarot, then this is the place to come. You can come on as a guest. Zoe comes on from time to time. We've had Anne on. Anne, you're very welcome if you want to come on tonight. I know you're working, darling, so if it doesn't fit in and you just want to listen, that's absolutely fine too. So any questions or anything to share, this is the place to come. Zoe's not well tonight. We wish her better. Zoe, if you're listening, get well, darling. No worries. We love having you, and you've got lots of compliments coming up on the YouTube channel, which I will get around to sharing with you, sweetheart. Right, I'm going to jump in. Here is a quick okay, and because Tony's actually put that link up there, you know, I cut that one short tonight. So the Death card, right, just looking at this tonight. Ask any questions that you want to. Okay. Just to introduce myself again, I'm Anne-Marie. I've been teaching tarot for about 20 years and I use a very different method to most tarot readers that you will come across. You probably never find anything like the signature method, but there again, never say never, because there's always someone in the world that's thinking the way you are. We use pairs, we'll look at that on Tuesday, and I use a very different, unique spread. So if you want to know more about that, hop over to tarotmarie.com where you can learn all about that. So Death card, the Death card. We've come to the number 13, and the Death card is probably one of the most feared out of the tarot deck. Now, its fear is unjustified because really it is all about the fact that it's been misunderstood. Let's look at the fact that the card doesn't help, okay, but it should speak to you in pictures. And the picture is a skeleton dressed in black armour, riding on a white horse. And this skeleton is often depicted in decks as Azrael, the angel of death, and he carries a black flag with a white rose. Different characters surround this horse. There is a king. If we look in the card, a bishop, it's quite a busy card, you have to look closely, a woman and a little girl. And in the distance, a boat is sailing out to sea. And so there are two hunched figures and a small black cross that mark a grave behind them. Now between the two stone towers atop the mountain, we can see that there's a rising sun. It's just visible there on the right of the card. And although this card represents death, it's not physical death. A death card signifies significant change and transformation, which can feel like a death because of its impact. And it can impact us very forcefully. Now, it really symbolizes the death of a situation in our life. And death comes in many shapes and forms, and throughout our lives we can go through many little tiny deaths which prepare us for the ultimate, and then the final death of all, which is of course the physical death. But the tarot cards never predict a physical death or a death of the future, and anyone that tells you that, really, from tarot cards, no. And I've done this for 30 years. It's about transformation, it's about shedding old ways and transforming into something new. In a way, it could be called feng shui, if you like, transformation, whatever you want to call it. But tarot decks are old, they're full of rich symbology, and the pictures are trying to give you a story. And by using the Rider-Waite deck, which is really, really important, and simply because, you know, the Rider-Waite deck really does have so many nuanced sort of meanings and lots of what I would call rich symbology. This is, you know, really the deck to actually work with, you know, because simply you are missing out if you don't see the symbology in this card. So there are little deaths from the moment that we are babies and the umbilical cord is cut because we're being weaned away from our mum, and then off the breast, and then sooner rather than later we're learning to sleep in our own room, and we're going off to school, and we're going to college, and we're leaving home, and maybe getting married or living a life of our own and choosing our partner and finding our way in the world. So these are the things that we mean when there are endings, where we have to end something, leave home in order to actually gain something new. So no one would ever look at the occasion as a death, but more as a beginning and a new start. And that's what this card means. So along with the new comes the old, and along with beginnings come endings. And so therefore every transition involves a death before a rebirth. And so the normal transition in life, you know, may seem, you know, tiny when compared to an actual physical death. But remember, this does not ever tell us about a death of the future. I don't know what's happened to my screen. I'm terribly sorry. Hold on a minute. That's nuts. Please bear with me. Okay. My screen isn't locked. Sorry. Let me lock that. That was... There we go, locked the overlay. 1,000 apologies for that. I do apologise. Okay. So we see all this where, you know, the sadness when our children leave home or when we leave home. And it would be wrong and impossible to avoid these kind of situations. But it can be a difficult time. And, you know, we can really feel that pain and that loss in ways that, you know, you simply can't comprehend. And you think you're never going to get over it. But, you know, life moves on, and these painful sort of adjustments, although they can feel like a problem, they can be very powerful and shocking to our system. And so, you know, sometimes we've got endings such as when the one that we love no longer loves us. And no matter how hard you want to rekindle the fire, you're told it's finished, it's over. The marriage you thought that was going to last forever, you know, all these kind of things. So these are examples of what death means in tarot. It's not the meaning of the card. It's attached to all this kind of events in our lives, so that you don't go, oh my gosh, what does it mean? Transformation, you know, the shedding of old skin for new skin. And so, you know, it could be the business that you've put all your life savings into, your heart energy, your soul and passion. Oh no, that's slight. And that, we can't carry on with that. Or the best friend who's let you down and betrays you and belittles you or isn't there for you, and it's all a one-way street. Or the company that you're working for, they're letting you go when you've been faithful and loyal. Or the promotion that you wanted and it was given to someone else. These are examples of what the death card means. You know, they're not easy to stomach, are they? And the death card really is lots of different kinds of death in our lives. But most importantly, it's about how we react to them. So do we grieve and mourn for what's gone until we finally accept the loss and slowly and carefully try and move on? Or do we resist and struggle the changes? Being quite determined to keep things as they were, in total denial of the situation. We were all human, I know. Or do we fling ourselves about and go, oh my gosh, I've got to go to bed, you know, everything is over, everything is lost, oh, woe is me, or I'm getting angry and I'm ranting and I want to demand that I have that back. And we can lose faith in life, and we're all challenged. It's our human experience. So, you know, it's difficult, no matter how much we actually think life's peachy. We go through endings that link to new beginnings. So the death character is riding into town in this card. And, you know, it's one of those things where we've got to look at the fact that we won't see it coming. You know, we will actually think that we can dodge it. And, you know, we'll talk about that sort of, you know, in the way that those characters around that horse is actually turning around and trying to actually refuse to accept the changes. Look at the bishop using his spiritual understanding of death and his faith to survive all of this. Then, if we look in the bottom right corner, we've got the young woman who's tried her best, and she's accepting the challenges and the changes that death brings. And she's even brought a little posy of flowers there, you should be able to see that, to show her understanding and respect for the situation. But at last minute, she's panicking. And she thinks now that the hoofs of the horse will actually trample her. So we've got all this going on, but it's a very difficult card to see the details in. You will need to really look closely. So I'm terribly sorry that I made that smaller. So in her fright and terror, this lady's dropped the flowers. You know, she's wanting to run away. And who wouldn't, you know? Change is scary. It's only the little girl in this picture, if you see that tiny little tot down there in the bottom. That's, I think she's dressed in blue there. She's the one that's trusting. She's the one that's fearless. And she's the one that's ready to accept change and believes that life is optimistic. She's a child, she's innocent, you know, she's going the way that she wants to. And so she's kneeling before him and offering flowers. So she is the one that's ready to accept whatever death brings her, and excited and curious about her own future. And judging by the black cross in the background there, death's already left a trail of victims behind us. Okay, so the white horse for this card symbolizes purity behind our actions, and the horse appears to be gentle and elegant, and the sun is rising between the two stone towers behind the mountains, symbolizing that there is light from the dark and the worst is just about over. So from death comes rebirth, and the sun's also representing new hope and new life. And it will remain strong and positive through dark times. And we are assured that the sun will rise again in our lives and get rid of all this doom and gloom. And the death card is represented by the astrological sign of Scorpio. And one of the lessons of Scorpio is to learn to accept change and not to be fearful of it. So there is often a lot of strength when we just surrender. So the meaning of this card, quite simply, is a chapter in life is ending, and how you react to this is essential. And so acceptance and release are essential here. So the death of a situation that you've been seeking on a deep level at the end of an era. So these changes need to come in and take effect. And you've got to trust that what's been taken away from you is better for you, and will be replaced by something that's probably much better. But the changes may appear very unwelcome, and in the long run, things will work out, but you'll wonder, what it's all about. So there's no point in struggling, but we're human, against all these changes, because it's probably going to happen anyway when this card pops up. So everything is in divine order at this stage. Just let things happen naturally. Sit back, take a deep breath, and just go with the flow. And if you do, you'll find that it's a much easier time and not such a difficult period, because all change is necessary. Sometimes in relationships, the death card comes up that can indicate change in the relationship. It can also represent a Scorpio. And if you've got a Scorpio in your life, depends where it is in the reading, of course, it would need to be in a certain position that tells you it's about other people. And it could be telling you that the relationship's transforming. That doesn't mean it's ending. You might be going through a new cycle. You might be going through more of a romantic stage, or maybe you are experiencing depth of emotions, or more of the physical is coming out, or the intellectual, or the friendship. You see, we all wear different hats and we go through changes and transformations, just like a snake. It sheds its skin, and that change is surrounding you, but we need to be careful how we actually look at this card. So you're being given lots of information. The skill, of course, is picking how and what it means. So watch on Tuesdays, because I'll teach you how to do that. But for now, you need to know what it's all about, what the symbology is about, what's the meaning behind it, what people will think or feel if they see that card, and how to actually reassure them, you're going through a change, transformation, out the old in with the new, like a new makeover or something like that, if you had long hair, you're now suddenly going, oh gosh, there's a real reason that I've actually got to do this. I'm going to say, Victor, you're welcome to come in, but I'm going to keep you I'm going to keep you in the guest room, Victor, if you can hear me, okay? And we're sticking to the death card. So, hi, Victor. Victor's going to join us, which is lovely. Right, okay. Oh, let's have a look at this. Okay. Okay, Carla's saying that you started. Brilliant. Thanks, Victor. started using your system in my tarot readings, and they're improving immensely over the last couple of weeks. Well, they will, Carla, they will, because, you know, it's a system, and like anything, if you've got a template and you've got positions, and that's what my courses are about, they're actually complementing what I'm teaching you here and how to bring all the pieces of the puzzle together, as it were. Okay, so I'm just going to turn around and give you a little bit more about you know, what's going on with this card. Okay, so right, let's look at the number 13 for a minute. Okay, so when we reduce 13, we get 1 plus 3, which equals 4. And so we always reduce it down if we've got, you know, two figures, 1 and 3. And 4 is actually quite a good number, you see. Okay, and if we look at it on its sort of own, you know, 4 is consolidation, it's about stability, and 13 itself is a powerful number of transformation. It governs rebirth and total change. And some people see it as unlucky, but it's not. It's a number of rebirth and allows growth. And yes, it's unavoidable that as we go through growth, there is a certain unavoidable amount of upheaval. So the only consistency that happens with the number 13 is you are going to get change. And we know that it's ruled by Scorpio. So let's just look at the card for a minute here. Sorry, Victor, it's I do want to actually get through this, as in I'm going to bring you in, sweetie. Sorry about that. All right, darling. So Death's bringing a yellow skeleton in the black armor. Okay, if you look, there's a yellow face there. And he's riding that white horse, approaching people before him. Okay, so the yellow skeleton is an intellectual colour, and death is factual. So this isn't an emotional sort of colour in yellow here. This is just probably to do with the time that this deck was actually produced as well, which would go back to certain diseases that would leave one's bones looking like colour. Okay, so it's just symbolism, as in to let us know that we are going through something that's gone, you know, just like death. Gone here today, gone tomorrow. You've stripped everything away. Okay, so the black armour that our figure is wearing symbolises darkness and night and absorbs all the other colours. Yet after darkness comes the light, and after night comes the day, and from black all different colours spring forth. So black is really a great colour of potential, and black nights often were symbolised as, you know, not fearing death, and, you know, there they would go, off into battle. There's a white cross on his chest plate. I don't know if you can see that. And that just shows, you know, it's a bit of a sacrifice. And if you look in his headwear, there's a red feather on top. And it shows his desire to be successful. So that's us, you know, it's our passion and our drive. And so death has a purpose, you know, so our figure. So it's symbolic of us. Okay, so it's calm, and look at the horse. It's serene and graceful. Sorry, lighting went funny then. It's because I'm sitting back too far. But it's also impatient. It's not standing still, is it? It's like, you know, come on, we're moving gracefully. So the horse has a strap around its neck, and if you look, it's got swords and skulls, and a little red eye representing passion and action. And the horse wants to move on now that the matter is actually settled. And there is mud on the floor, okay, which kind of shows that this is kind of like a loss of dignity, okay, and yet at the same time grounded. So the Death card is telling us that, you know, we are going through this transformation, and the figure in our card, our character, is holding a black banner, and that white rose represents integrity and the existence of essence, and the rose symbolises the purest of emotions. Um, and of course, white is for innocence. So his presence is totally unavoidable in our life, and this cycle will keep returning and representing time and time again, and there are no barriers, we just have to accept change in our lives. That rose, if you look, is quite complicated. It's got 2 rows of 5 petals, if you can see it. And it's symbolised as in by the number 10, bringing 10 in tarot is completion. And the 5 petals is, in tarot, anything to do with 5 means we've got a bit of a mock battle, a bit of a struggle. So it just adds to the strain of things, but the purity's there. So it's like completion, struggling with it, innocence, all of that. That's what it's about. Now, if we look, we've got a dead king lying down there. If you look to the left of the card, you can kind of see, his ego is absolutely shattered, because even as a king, he couldn't dodge death, symbolically, of course, and of course it does happen. But what we mean by that is he can't mentally comprehend, someone as high up as he should be discarded in such a way. So, it's kind of saying that it happens to all of us. Okay, and if we look, he's clenching his right fist on his chest, which shows, there's nothing he can do about it. He's powerless. Okay, so it's all symbolic, and this is what it's all about. And if we look at our king again, we can see his hair's grey. That's symbolic of old age. You should be wise at a certain point in life. Therefore, even your wisdom or your kingdom couldn't save you from change. So it just shows that, all of this, and all of these people, kings, bishops, children, the maiden, all stand there. The bishop standing there with his eyes closed, hoping that this ain't going to happen. And as the priest sort of giving the last rites to the fallen king with his crook, symbolising the good shepherd, well, all of his flocks sort of there in the ground, in the mud. And so, everyone's being trampled on. So what this is symbolic of is, it doesn't mean that's going to happen to you. It just means change comes to us all. Transformation. Doesn't matter your age, your standing, your community. No, it's going to happen. And you've got to actually turn around and look at the fact that you must go with the change. Otherwise it's going to be so much harder. So much harder. It's really something of complete transformation. Okay, right. There's just to have a look in the background there, there's a river flowing. And you see, that represents our emotions and the flow of our emotions and the constant flow of change in our emotions. So it's really just talking about the fact that things flow on, and there is a boat, if you look far left, right down there in the blue, there's a little boat there, and the boat can still be steered and controlled, even though, the winds of change come in for the boat. There is some control going on there because it's still on the water, of course, okay? So it sails open, showing movement, the journey is being navigated, and the only direction they can go in is forwards. So there's a lot of symbology in the Rider-Waite decks. And if we look, that sail boat is tinted red, or slightly pink there, and it's just showing that, that is passion to go with the flow, and it's serenity in itself. You can often see that in different sort of decks, there's like a grassy, greeny back that offers hope in the future, but it depends on the deck that you're using. In ours, we're looking at the fact it's a little bit on the muddy side. Sorry, Victor, I know you're still there. And I just want to talk about 2 towers there, that's found. It's a bit like the duality of flowing from one state to another. The towers are there, the yin and the yang, and we've seen that before in the tower, but it's not the tower, by the way. It's just saying that we're flowing through two states, duality. Okay, so as we said, the sun will tell us that a new day will come, and out of the difficult sort of time that we've had, a new day will actually appear for us if we go with the transformation, with all of the endings that come about. We'll be going through a new state. You've just got to accept that sometimes there's an intensity of our emotions because it's attached to Scorpio. And so therefore, when it's attached to Scorpio, we are actually thinking, oh, crikey, there's intensity here, it's all or it's nothing. There's a great depth to what's going on. But it's also a lot to do with emotions because Scorpio, of course, is a water sign. Okay, right. Give me a moment. Hang on in there, Victor. I presume that you have got some questions. So bear with me. I'm going to try and bring Victor in. I'd like to welcome Victor. Let's assign him as guest one and let's put him on the right. With your microphone. Hear Victor. I can hear you now, Victor, I think. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Good to see you again, Anne-Marie.
Okay, one second. I've done something a bit. Please bear with me, Victor. Look what's happened. I don't know. Some strange sort of things happening to my scene tonight. So how are you? I'll sort out the scene. You chat to...
It's all good. It's all good. Having, like I said to you, some issues with my account on your homepage right now. So I'm trying to fix that part of. But
wow.
I'm so glad that you're doing about the death card because it's, for me, when I explain about the card, it pops up in the deck, is all about transformation.
It is indeed. Absolutely.
And
Tell us a little bit about what you think about transformation, as in examples maybe, Victor, that you've had. I'm sorry, I've got a complete nightmare going on. Hold on, there we go. For some reason, let me try and change scenes just for a minute, darling. Yeah, let's see if it's going to do something. It's just done something really, really weird. Oh, we've still not got out. What is going on? Okay, so give us an example, Victor, of something that you kind of would say was a transformation that was actually happening in your life. This is just crazy. Sorry, folks. Come back. Right. What I am going to do, okay, I'm sorry, okay, is it's obviously something that's going on with, bear with me, Victor, I'm going to put you on mute. Okay, I've got you on mute for a sec. I'm trying to sort this out. What we've got here is different versions of the death card, okay, and the transformation. And sometimes it's important for us to actually look at the fact that the deck that we're actually using may not be helping us, okay. These are beautiful decks. They are, some of them are Rider-Waite based, but obviously not all of them. And the one on the left, you can kind of see that it doesn't have anything I've just described, apart from maybe the skull and maybe the bat in the background, and maybe that's towers in the background there and a little bit of water. So all of the symbols can help you actually kind of feel that you can pick something up from that card, the colors and this and that and the other, so many things that will actually help you. There's, example in the middle there of another deck that, it's, you see, I love the deck, but, it could be really hard for a new reader or somebody that's finding it difficult to actually sort of come up with, well, this is all about change, it's about shedding old skins, and it's just the way things happen to be in life. And then, we've got this next sort of version here, yeah, you see, where, once again, sorry, Victor, we've got the traditional Rider-Waite on the left, and then the far right here, we've got a very groovy, colourful Rider-Waite based card. The colours are different, so you might get something more from this particular sort of deck, which would really probably make a huge, huge difference to what you're seeing in the cards. The colour of the horse is different, as you can see, the suit of armour. So it can actually add something. Not always, of course, but it can. All right. So, and the one in the middle for cat lovers, oh gosh, that's the devil card. I'm so sorry about that. I are really sort of my things are messing, my scenes are messing up. But here we again have different. You probably get it from these cards here. That they are the death cards. That's in. All sorts of different things, but it can actually be, especially if you're opposite a client, it can be scary to look at that, can't it? Right, Victor, I'm going to try and sort of see if we can bring you back, and let's try this one. Just seems, that's better. Everything's kind of moved and shifted, so my apologies for that. Okay, I've got you on mute. So you were saying, so let's go back to asking you what you felt was a transformation that you could share with us.
For me, it was mostly when you're actually in for example, if you're moving, or if it's a form of transmission as well, when you're going from one place to another and stuff. It's a part of being transformation.
Perfect example.
I must say that, Marie, that card you showed about that shamanistic woman, the first card that
yeah.
I love that deck. I mean, you have so much beautiful decks. Actually, one of the decks you showed me.
I've got that deck here. Hold on a second. I think it's this one. Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful. I have a friend from the United States having the same cards as well. So I was.
Yeah. I think that's the one that was there.
Yeah, and actually, you sent to me on Facebook as well. I will take a look into that, because it was about the High Priestess last time.
Right. Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna let you know that I have still issues with my account. I can't get it to work right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, hang on a minute. We've got a little bit of a crackle there. Let's see if I can bring that back. Sorry. Can you just help us with that? Sorry, Victor. As in, can you say that again? Because it crackled and we lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Addressing nothing about, but I have so much issue with the account on your site right now. So I need some support, because I'm going.
Oh.
I can't get it to. I cannot get in. I cannot do anything right now. So I'm glad I could join you for a quick bit and ask you.
Okay, so what I want you to do when we finish, I won't do it tonight, but when we finish, just send me a WhatsApp message, Victor, and give me the email address that you are using, and we'll go from there. Okay, but
sure.
have you got more than one email address?
No, it's the same.
Okay. Okay, send that to me, and then I think what we might do is get you out from there, start from scratch, and try from there. Okay, yeah. So you can't get in. But I think that what you're getting confused in is, just for possibility, is I used to have a platform with another learning management system, and so therefore that account that's gone. So you've got to kind of bring it in from scratch. So if you're using the same things, it won't recognize it. Even I had to go in and ask today could I please get in my account? No problem. What did we give you, was it the, were you learning the major arcana?
Some kind of link I got you sent to me, but I don't know what happened to that link or anything. So it's like this.
Okay.
I think we have to scratch off.
Okay, we'll get that sorted for you. Okay, right, now then, let's have a little look. Bear with me. Let's see if there's any questions. Anybody got any questions about sort of some of the things that's come up tonight, as in that you might actually want to ask? You know, is there something that you would like to actually ask a question on about the death card? Anybody? Okay, I'm actually trying to see if we can just turn around and see if there's anybody with any questions. I've got you on mute for a moment, Victor. Just want to turn around and see if we've got any more questions. Okay. Right, okay, you've got to go. Totally understand. Okay, somebody's saying they've got to kind of go and how they love the cards. Well, that's absolutely lovely. Totally understand that. And there's PDFs on there for you all. There's a birth chart calculator on there. Anybody that's kind of like, are you kind of worried in any way about sort of, what death kind of means? Is there anything that I could actually sort of reassure you with? Or have you come across, something that's difficult from time to time? It's the things that, would make you as the reader kind of go, oh gosh, I'd like to take that card out. Is there something that, we can actually turn around and actually help you with? Because if there is, please, please, please feel free to actually ask, okay? I'm going to try and just bring in just one little sort of thing here. Let's see if this actually is going to work. Okay, because I did the cards for you earlier, and I just wanted to actually see if I could bring this on. So let's just see if we can get this one to work. Okay. It's taking its time tonight. Sorry. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to put Victor on mute as because it's scratching. Okay. Right. Yeah, I tried to bring this on, but let's just see if we can actually do this instead, and whether or not it's actually going to allow us the opportunity to share this with you. Okay. Right. Everything tonight is right. There you go. Okay, so death is about transformation, rebirth, and Scorpio. It's all about personal growth and breaking off old habits. Okay. Okay. There you go. All right. So yes, I totally agree with you, and you're glad that I clarified it's not about physical death. No, it is not about physical death. Okay. Sorry about the sort of overlays tonight misbehaving. As you can kind of see, they are just not playing ball with me for some strange reason. I seem to have lost my background the minute I brought Victor in, but not to worry. We look okay in black there. Okay, so Anna's saying, that, yeah, glad that it's not just about physical death. It's not. It's about transformation. And sorry, Victor, I want to move on, as in we're almost at the end. It was lovely that you had a little example there about the death card. But, we'll get your stuff sorted out, as in on the website for you. But I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. So, my lovelies, any questions? Right, okay. There's a question. What's the difference between tower and death? Okay, big difference. The tower is from the planet Mars, okay, and it's ruled by Mars rather than the death card, which is ruled by Scorpio. So one of the big differences and the meanings of the cards, Pansella, quite simply is that death is about transformation, whereas the tower is about being unsettled and things happening with force, suddenly, with no warning, that can actually completely bring your situation down to the ground. It's a bit like having a building knocked down. Well, death card, as we talked about earlier, is about little things that change. I graduate from college, I move out from home. I'm so sad to leave my friends and family, to move to another city. That's death, transformation. Whereas, the tower can be sudden change, is kicking your backside, going, you know what, you didn't turn around and move in your job when you should have, so now you are going to be completely upset by the fact that, sorry, bear with me, as in, I need to switch that off. That's Victor sort of messaging me. So what we've got going on with the tower is the fact that we've got upheaval, that we are it's happening suddenly with no warning, and we've suddenly got to change everything, and it's unsettled everything, and we should have done it, but we perhaps saw no warning, or it's coming unexpectedly. It usually is about fast changes that are actually very unsettling. I don't mean in a way that it's ruining your life. I just mean in a way of everything's in a hurry. Whereas death is a transformation, which is, you're going to graduate. Your baby's going to grow up. That you are going to fall in love, and that you are going to go into, a relationship that takes you away from your family, as in at some point in life that causes you to be independent. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference, as in death is much more it's deeper emotionally, and we probably transform gradually with it. But the tower is, it knocks us sideways, because we're going, suddenly it's all change, all fast. And there's tower moments all the time, it's a bit like, I thought I was walking my dogs earlier on, the next thing I come back and it's like suddenly I've got an emergency reading I thought I'd be doing afterwards, but I ended up doing it before. Then it was a case of, okay, I prepare that little video for you, and I couldn't actually turn around and get it changed or moved. So all of a sudden then it's like, crikey, I've got to go and put the lights on in the studio and, get things up and running. And a tower moment is, something where it's unexpected and it throws you. And yeah, it threw me. But, what also was lovely, but a tower moment is often, it unsettles us. It makes us feel we can't get our stability. Whereas death and its transformation is kind of anticipated, or it's a necessary cycle, I would say. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Victor. Okay. Oh, right. Here's a question. If someone asked about a loved one who has passed and the death card comes out, would that be about them transitioning or transitioned? To be perfectly honest with you, I would always say, I'll leave that to the reader. If you're asking me what I would do, that's another matter, okay? But if you feel, could you see it as that? You could, because there's been a change and a transition. But I, as a reader, I will tell you, will definitely not touch it with a barge pole. Okay. And if people say, oh, can you see that physical death? I would say no. Absolutely not, because it's not linked to that. It's not a physical thing. But each reader's different, and it depends on what platform. And if they're asking about a loved one, I have to say my rules are I don't know. I don't do that. I've trained in mediumship and I just don't work with it. I'm not comfortable. And that's how I answer. And so, if you saw it coming up, would you mention it to them? I'd be very careful, but could it mean that? Could you be thinking that? You could go, oh, yeah, they've told me someone's died and the death card's there. Keep that. I would keep that to myself, but and that's up to you, however you would like to do it. Yeah, yeah. Victor's saying, his tip is that they travel forwards. Yeah, keep going forwards. It is. It's about going forwards in every way that you possibly can. Was the sound all right, everybody? Can you let me know? And I'm so sorry we lost our scene. Just really annoying when you work so hard. Was the sound all right? Let me know. Are we all right with the sound? Yeah? I've got my blue screen back there, so I'm going to have to work on that. I think what happened is somehow I managed to just move it. And if you move it across the screen and it's not locked, it goes... Okay, so can you give me a thumbs up if the sound's all right tonight? Please do. And, anybody that wants to ask a question, anything? Yeah? So how about thumbs up just to say the sound is okay? If not, I'll turn it up a little bit louder or take it down a little bit. And I'm afraid with Victor's mic and mine tonight, we were getting a crackling. We've got some weather here going on. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Sound was fine. Wonderful. Okay. So that's on YouTube. How about on Facebook, folks? That's in. How's it coming through on Facebook? And of course, Twitch. Let us know on Twitch. You're all a bit quiet on Twitch tonight. I can see there's people there. Right, Facebook people. So I can see somebody watching in my page. I'm reading from Ask the Answer. I can see someone on my page, my group, I beg your pardon. GoPro Tarot courses and my page Tarot with Anne-Marie. I need you to know Facebook have made some announcements, and the announcements will affect us streaming. And it is not me, it is everybody. Okay, what they are proposing, and nothing has happened yet, because obviously I'm streaming there tonight. But what they are doing is they are taking away anybody in streaming into their group via a third party, which is Ecamm. Okay, and that will be StreamYard and Restream and various things that allow us to be able to kind of, when it works, show you these overlays. So where you can see the cards, where you can see what's going on, and where you can be sure that we can bring up the cards, like tonight. And I believe all that happened was my scene actually moved. So when I brought Victor on, no, you see, it's done it again. So I will need to fix that, so I can put that blue background that you can see now. So that's what we mean. And so sometimes it's good when you get a tower moment, which was that, which is something's just kind of happened. That wasn't, a death card moment. That's more of a tower kicking their backside. And it unsettles you because you suddenly go, I spent the whole day putting everything together, and the last minute, it's kind of like, it's all gone like that. Well, if we were in Facebook, we're going to be getting the fact that, we'd have to just go on camera so that you are getting just holding up cards. And you cannot hold up a card, type, read a question, and do all of that all at once. You can, but I've done it before and it's hard work, and you can only do it for a certain amount of time. And the whole point is that it just doesn't work. And, despite 2,000 people in my group plus, there's just not enough people tuning in due to where they live in the Facebook groups. So, what is the message? If you are watching on the Facebook, you're going to have to go over to YouTube because it will all be stopped from April. Okay, so we will not be able to go into Facebook groups at all. I don't know about my page. There is so much jargon to read through. It's very confusing. So if you want to keep watching, then you are going to have to go onto YouTube. And to be honest, I'm quite pleased about that because I really want to work with YouTube. It's my love, and it's where people are able to look at everything that we've done. And I've been doing videos on YouTube. It goes back to about 2009, actually, but not as Tarot with Anne-Marie. It was my previous company, and that's got thousands and thousands of views for just kind of teaching a card. That's in for about 30 seconds before shorts came in. That's what I was doing, each individual card. You wouldn't even recognize me. And I can't mention the name of my old company because, we've all moved on, and, that's not fair on them, and it's not fair on me either. But they are there. If you were to look up Anne-Marie, I'm sure you'd find them. But the point is that, YouTube, you can find those videos from 2008, but you won't be able to find them on Facebook, even though we post them up there, because it's just not the way of being able to find anything. So YouTube is a place where it doesn't disappear. YouTube is there forever, unless you actually hide it or delete it or something like that. But, it can be found, which is why I adore it. Okay, it's not here today and gone tomorrow. So my message to you is, if you are enjoying our tutorials, and I do apologise about the bumps in the road tonight, folks, as in with the actual, the scenes, I'm sure you don't mind, as in a little bit of blue disappeared, and, my death card went small when it shouldn't have. But that's live. And that's how it is. And by going through Ecamm, I should have had the locks on, but Victor came in at the last minute, no warning. And, I was expecting Zoe, not Victor. And you see? But I pulled it off, and I'm talking to you. And we had some lovely new people. And thank you. It is hard to actually research all of this and make sure that I'm not just gibberishly just giving you, what do you think? Because that's not going to help. I've got a lot of information that I can share with you. So my point is, if you want to actually support and keep learning and asking questions and meeting new people and giving your support to other people and asking for the help, then really and truly, you've got to go on YouTube because Facebook's gone. We can't even stream into Instagram via this, which is a huge shame. Same with TikTok, there's restrictions. But you know what? It is what it is. I love YouTube, so I'm very happy, and I love Twitch, and I love my Facebook, but it is what it is. And at least here, you can find videos as in the way that you want. My very big thanks to Victor for being a guest tonight, as absolutely lovely. I'm not quite sure what he's saying about platforms, but I think he's agreeing. So anybody wanting to continue, I'll be phasing out, as in I did it last week, and you know what? I said for some reason something was making me, and that hadn't been announced then. So I'm telling you, my old intuition was telling me, absolutely telling me that, yeah, it's time. And to say to people, please support me on YouTube. The only way I can keep making this work for you is for you to subscribe, for you to share the videos, to watch the videos, and help people who really and truly might actually gain something rather lovely from our time as a group here, sharing our information about tarot. Okay, I hope that you have a wonderful week. Tomorrow is Friday, and don't forget, Happy Chinese New Year for the 10th of February. It is the year of the dragon, the wood dragon. We have a new blog all about that, 2 blogs on the website at the moment, all about Chinese New Year and the blessings it brings. Difficult card tonight, you know. Why? Because people are scared of it. No need to be. Just about change. You are welcome. So, bye Victor, bye Carla, bye Anne. Thank you so much. And oh, Facebook user. So yeah, I hope you know what we're saying. Bye Tony. Bye Pansella. And it was absolutely lovely to have Anne. Bye Anne. Bye bye bye. Gosh, quite a lot of people on there tonight. I'm sorry if I didn't mention you. Elip, lovely. Thank you very much, as in, and Trio of Witches Tarot. So lovely. I really do appreciate your company, everybody. Many, many thanks. And don't forget, Tuesday, how to read the Death card. So we studied the Death card, we went through symbology tonight and a little meaning of the cards. Now I'm going to show you how to work with that. So all of that long list about that card, what do I do with that? See me on Tuesday and I'll get you started, okay? And better still, go onto the website, go and have a look at the courses. They are not a fortune. But Anne, I know you asked me something. Can you watch them over and over and over again? Yes, of course you can. Yeah, that was it. I knew there was something you'd asked me. All right, my darlings, I'm going to play you out with our usual. So here we go. Till next time.